Alright, here at No Reserve we have our all original 94 Nissan Pathfinder. It's always been in Washington State. It's a two-owner. First owner owned it all the way up to about 2010, 2011. I had to look at the Carfax again. And then the second owner owned it the last decade. This is sapphire blue metallic. It's got the kind of blue interior. It's an XE V6, so it's got all the power windows, power door locks, AC, which also blows cold. It's got the chrome wheels. And it has the really hard to find 5-speed manual transmission, and it's got just 136,000 original miles. So go ahead and get around. It's mostly original paint. The hood has been repainted, and it was blended to about like right here, and you'll see that area where it's kind of tough. But there you go. You can see where it chipped away just a little bit right here, and shows that underneath. The front's in really nice condition. It's got the fog lights. All those stuff works. I'll show you on just one of these, but there is pictures of it. All the headlights, I mean, look how nice those headlights are. The headlights, the corner lights, the turn signals all have the Nissan emblem. There's a little bit of scratch, but this is just from the way the license plate goes. A little tiny bit of scuffing right there. There you go. You can see a couple scratches. The valance down below. I mean, there's pictures of all this stuff, but I love doing videos too, just to kind of point it out a little bit. But really nice condition. It's got the bug guard. There's a little bit, it looks like maybe the hood was shut on something and chipped the paint. You will find little chips like this throughout. The ones that are hard to get, there's a little scratch right up here too. Tiny guy. But the one that's really hard to get of is there is some surface scratches. It's really hard to get a picture of, and it's even hard to see in person, but it's right here, and it looks like someone maybe had like a cardboard box on there and then slid it off. So you might be able to buff those out. There's no cracks or chips in the windshields. You know, the window felts are getting a little bit dry. You got a little crack in this one. They're getting a little bit dry, but they're not cracked, like you don't have vertical cracks or anything like that. No scratch has been put in the windows, which is pretty amazing. You know, the mirrors are getting a little bit faded. It's got the factory fender flares. It's got the factory Nerf bar side steps, which was an option. But the wheels are crazy clean. There's no rust on any of the wheels. Each one of the wheels, you can see the part number back there, which is like pretty amazing. Brakes have all been done. We'll do a driving video and I'll talk about this mechanical stuff a little bit more. But each wheel you can see, I mean, this thing is super clean. Tons of underside videos, and underside photos. So I'll walk around here, go back over the, you got like a couple little chips. You will find some stuff like that. You know, your little entry wear from the keys throughout the years. You know, each door has a couple little chips. There's a little bit of scratches there, but again, there's absolutely no rust on this truck at all. It's crazy clean underneath. Obviously, it's, you know, work its way to it's 30 years old, so it's not spotless. But for today, just really clean. You can see there was a little bit of a crease right here, but the paint's still shiny. It didn't actually do any paint damage, but it did, whereas it put a little bit of a dimple in behind the flare there, and it cracked the flare. Got a little bit of dust on the fender flare here. I'll wipe her down. You can see it's got the original Nissan mud flaps front and rear. It's just cool to see that. One thing that stands out to me on this hard body Nissan Pathfinder is the little stuff, like it's still got its original lug nuts. You know, you can't get these lug nuts anymore. It's still got the original plastic caps in the back. I mean, these things just get discarded or fall off, or ears get broken. These things are in there nice and tight. Little stuff like this, and the fact that it still has its mud flaps front and rear. And you can see the little Nissan script, and it has all its original floor mats inside, brochure, double original keys. I mean, it has its original 94 Nissan keys plus the spare. Top's in really nice condition. You know, you will have some little chips and, you know, little scratches and stuff like that. Again, there's more pictures, but just want to, you got these chips right here. You got the factory decal, the spare tire. Do have the factory spare tire cover that says Pathfinder, but it was getting really dry and I couldn't get it to zip all the way, and it was starting to rip a little bit. So that will be included, but it's up to you if you want to try to put that one back on. This one's just your standard. But look how clean it is behind there. Looks really good. You can see the Nissan part number on the spare wheel. You know, all the rubbers are in good condition. Brackets are in good condition. Got a little chip off that ear. Bushing's a little bit worn, kind of expected. Rear bumper's in nice shape, no dents or tweaks. A little bit of scratches here. You know, all the glass has the original Nissan emblem in them. It's got a really nice shine to it. I love this color blue. I mean, I think how clean that wheel is. That Pathfinder. Oh, it looks like it's starting to sprinkle on us a little bit, so it'll probably start raining on the driving video. You see the felts are, you know, in good condition, but a little dry. You get a little scratch there. You know, you can see it's never been, no paint's blown in behind the gas door and stuff like that. You got a little bit of scratch right there. Wait for it to focus. A little chip right there. A little bit of scuffing in the paint on the Nerf bars type stab. So we'll take you in the inside. We'll start in the passenger side since we're over here. I have pictures of the interior without the original floor mats. The carpets are in just amazing condition. So but I want to pull them out now, especially starting to rain. Shifter boots in nice condition. You know, I'll do driving videos. You can see the shifter's nice and tight. All the writing on all the buttons is really nice. No cracks on the dash. All the lights work. Headliner's in nice shape. No rips or tears in either one of the seats. No breakdown or wear. It's still nice and plump. But a non-smoker, no smells at all. It doesn't smell like, just, you know, no like bad smells or no smoking smell. Original floor mat. A little bit of scuffing on the center console. Some of the plastics have that. There's a spot on the passenger seat plastic too. Again, really nice shape. And this folds all the way down. You do have to take these out, which pop right out, and then it folds all the way down for a cargo area, and there will be a picture of that. Yeah, I mean, it's got original stereo. Nothing's been tampered with on this truck. I would replace the stereo. I'll show in the driving video. It doesn't sound that great. Here's the scuffs on the plastic. But what's great is to see that this, I mean, there's no slits in any of the vinyl. Also, none of this plastic has been pulled off. You know, people will catch their foot, it'll be careless, it'll come loose, they'll rip it off. There's stuff like that on some of these old trucks, you know, when these when these things were about like 10, 12 years old. They still were plentiful. Now these things, it is just super hard to find a hard body Pathfinder like this in this condition, especially with the 5-speed. It's just unbelievable. Take you to the rear cargo area. So it does push it up a little bit. It stays up all by itself. I could not find the hoist for the hatch. And it does not stay up by itself, but it pops open. So you got, you know, this is the spares back at the shop. It's got original, you know, it's got a cool Nissan keychain, original dealer brochure, all original books and jacket. I'll move this stuff aside. So you can see, you know, you guys, your scuffs and stuff from carrying stuff along in the cargo area. There's scuffs in the plastics. They're not real tough, so it's pretty easy to scratch these things up. Little scratches there. You know, rear light, both the lights come on when you open up the door. Nobody's punched these out and put some aftermarket speakers in there. It's like one of those things, you know, I see, it's like, oh, it's a bummer the stereo. It sounds not that great, but it's awesome to see the original stereo and nothing messed with. Because oftentimes, like back in the day, you know, people will go, they'll lose screws and they'll put, you know, they won't put all the fasteners back in there, and you have like, you know, a couple Robert's heads, a couple Phillips, or a couple different size screws. And it's just, you know, over time, stuff just starts to rattle. It looks sloppy. It's just awesome to see that besides maintenance items, every nut and bolt on this thing is last touched by Nissan on the assembly plant, you know, in 93 or 94, whenever it was built. Just super clean. Under the hood is crazy clean too. But here, even on the driver's side, you know, I would expect some wear on the top of this door panel from an arm or just getting in and out. I mean, these things here, you know, if you're not careful, if you know, obviously nobody's ever taken this off, like you'll never get them to be this tight again. You know, a lot of people just yank on them, aren't paying attention on how to get the stuff off. But obviously this one's never been off, but it's just nice to see it hasn't, I mean, it is as tight as new. Nissan floor mat. This is cool. I mean, man, almost 30 years have its original Nissan floor mats. I just kind of, when you see stuff like that, I mean, they are worn and stuff like that, but when you see stuff like that, you know the care it's had. And it's kind of weird little fading on the plastics here too. But this one, people really, I've seen a lot of these Pathfinders, people catch their feet here, this whole thing's missing. And you just can't find this stuff anymore. It's pretty crazy. You used to be able to pop on eBay and you'd be able to find stuff like that, or definitely go to wrecking yards, but they have absolutely dried up in wrecking yards because, you know, cash for clunkers back in the day wiped out a bunch of these beauties, but also a lot of people aren't sending these things to wrecking yards anymore. People are fixing up and restoring them, rightfully so. I mean, they're just killer. They're really fun to drive. I love the Nissan hard body pickups, but the Pathfinders are great because you can take them camping, you can do all kinds of stuff. But look at the foot pads. I mean, they got almost no wear. Speaker, you know, everything works on this thing. So it is raining, so you know, this stuff, if you see any of this stuff in the back of the video, it's just, now it's a little bit of water splots. It's not you know, bubbles in the paint or nothing. You might have to set you down here. It's kind of a two-handed operation, so I'll put you on the intake manifold here for a second. I like the hoods that have the hydraulics, so they stay up, but all right, so here we go. You can see the original decal. I mean, you can see underneath that it still has the liner. Yeah, you got some little marks and stuff like that, but who cares? None of these plastic guys are missing. I mean, all the grommets, all this stuff, when, you know, I go looking at vehicles, I see that stuff, I kind of start geeking out. It doesn't necessarily mean you found the Mona Lisa, but in some ways, when you're a guy that or, you know, a woman that loves these things, this stuff is just unbelievable to me. You know, cold AC, it's had a full tune-up done. You know, we'll talk about that on the drive, you know. But look at all this stuff. I mean, the decals, I mean, this stuff's got shine to it. It's struck clearly by the lenses and the condition of the underside and the condition of this stuff, where everything still has that bright finish, you know. This stuff gets really oxidized, especially you guys in the salt belts. You know what I'm talking about. Like, they just don't look like this. Your aluminums don't look like this. You know, the brass don't look like that. It's just crazy. But obviously this thing's been garaged and very well cared for by both the owners. I feel really lucky to have found it. I mean, I found look for these things all the time, and you know, the Fords and the Toyotas, and they're just impossible to find. I'll go ahead and give it a little fire up, and then I'll just leave it running and let it start warming up for the driving video. Keep that heater going. It's definitely cold. It's in the 30s here. So we'll get the temperature go up. I'll have a little snack here while she warms up. Clock works. You know, AC, light works. You know, the fog lights, you gotta turn the headlights on first. Bam, those things work. So, alrighty guys, this is going at no reserve, so you'll be the third owner. You know, clean Washington title. You can see all the fog lights. I love the way those fog lights. Man, it's just running so smooth. It's just, there's not a shake, shimmy, squeal, tick, nothing to that thing. But I always loved how these factory hard body fog lights look, how they're integrated into the little plastic in there in the bumper. It just looks killer. But alright guys, good luck and happy bidding.